Hey, what is up YouTube? My name is Haidar, and today I want to talk to you about how you can absolutely crush an interview in a good way and be very confident and take the nervousness out of the way. So the first thing I would want to tell you is firm handshake. The first impression is very important. I will actually make a video about that later on. I'll put in the link below just to kind of reference to that. If you want to look into it, it will be extremely helpful. But go back to the topic. You want to make sure that you're actually giving a good handshake, firm handshake, right? Now, when I say firm, don't go all crazy on a person's hand and just break it, but don't give a very weak way of a handshake. The easiest way you can know that or balance that, if you have friends or family members, you want to practice with that, go right ahead. I would highly encourage you to do that. Now, when you're giving that handshake, you want to make sure that you have this established eye contact level, and you give a little bit of a smile because you want to be friendly but also confident, and you're showing that by giving that eye contact with a firm handshake. Not only that, but also you're friendly by giving that smile. Now, when it comes to body languages, I think it's extremely important, and I think a lot of people underestimate the power of understanding or seeing the body language. I think the body language speaks a lot. So a couple things to watch out for it. Make sure that your nose level is straight, meaning that's a zero level. Let's just pretend this is a zero level, because that's going to help you out determine that when you're actually having a conversation with a interviewer, whether you're having a regular just conversation standing up or sitting down, you don't want to look down like this, because this is bad. It looks like you're very defensive. You want to look up like that, because that shows that you're not being there and you're being disrespectful because you're being distracted. You want to make sure it's zero level at all times. Another thing too as well, your eyes should be looking at the person's face. Now, some people have a very, very uncomfortable level by looking at the other person's eyes for a long time. You don't want to do that, right? Because you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable as well, because nobody wants to stare at somebody like this for 45 minutes or an hour long, right? So what you want to do is you want to look at their eyes and then look at their nose. Look at their eyes, then look at their nose, right? So that's gonna give you help switching up from different levels within their zone, so they know that you're looking at them. Another thing too as well to take care of is your shoulder. Make sure it's straight, right? It's one level. You don't want to be like this, sitting down. Trust me, I've seen it. You don't want to be like this, because that's very defensive, very scared. You don't want to be like this, because that looks very weird. You probably look like you have some pain in the back of your shoulder or something, right? So just make sure you have that straight and forward. Not only that, but your back is straight, because it gives you that posture, so you're just sitting down looking all confident. Another thing too, a lot of people underestimate is their hands. They don't know what to do with their hand. Do not ever do this. Don't cross them, because it looks like you're very, very defensive. Or you don't want to go like this, or you don't want to go like that. The best thing to do is cross them, right? And put them on your lap, or put them on the table. Just cross them, right? The cross tells you like, hey, don't go anywhere. I need you to stay where you are, right? Another thing too as well, your legs should be straight, so you can cross your legs as you're sitting down. Just because when you cross your legs, you're not going to be distracted. Because a lot of people, when they get nervous, they start actually going like this with their chair, rolling. And that shows very nervousness level, and it's extremely distracting for the interviewer. And trust me, you don't want to do that, because it shows a lot of lack of confidence. So these are your body languages you want to make sure that you're taking care of. So the second step is communication. Body language is first of the battle, the first half of the battle. Communication is the second half of the battle. So you want to make sure you're asking the questions you want to practice before the interview, right? Because the more you practice, the more you're going to sound yourself be familiar with the questions you're being asked. And as a result, you're able to answer them a lot more comfortably and also more confidently, right? So that's very important for you to understand. For example, you always want to make sure you have that 30-second of tell me a little bit about yourself, right? You want to introduce yourself, where you come from, what's your background, what's your skill level, what's your experience, what do you like to do? The interviewer is literally trying to get to know you as a person, and they're trying to really break the ice In other words, to try to not get you more comfortable with them to have a conversation. But also don't get too unprofessional on all that stuff. So just keep it work related, but also tell them a little bit about yourself. If you have kids, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do outdoors as well? Include that in introduction. Almost every time you go in every single interview, you're going to be asked these two questions, almost guaranteed. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Strength is something that you can relate to. Obviously, it's pretty straightforward. Is that what would make us want to hire you as an individual than the rest? Please, some things to avoid. Don't say I'm a hard worker, I'm a fast learner, I'm good in communication. How many do you think candidates say the same thing? A lot. So you don't want to sound so boring and repetitive like other candidates. You want to sound very memorable, right? So you want to do something different than others, right? So for example, Hadar, what is your strength? Well, I come from a different countries. I've traveled all around the world. I've lived in 7 countries and I'm able to speak 3 different languages. So I was fortunate to have an interaction with different individuals from different ethnicity, background, and beliefs, which enabled me to work in a diverse group and able to lead them and understand the way you're thinking so I can unite them and have them achieve a similar goal, right? And it's something that I just thought about right now as I'm speaking to you. So it's not the best thing, but you understand what exactly I'm trying to refer to. Now, when it comes to weaknesses, please do not say that you don't have any weakness. That shows that you're arrogant. And that's the last thing you want to show the interviewer. The interviewer is literally trying to understand you as an individual or a candidate, and everybody, including them, have a weakness they need to work on. Make sure there's something that you're aware of, and make sure that it's something that you are working towards. A lot of companies now are usually asking situational questions. And if you don't know what a situational question is, it is whenever they tell you, tell me about a time. Whenever they ask you, tell me about a time, it's going to follow up with a situational question. I'll give you an example. Tell me about a time when you had a group conflict and how did you handle it? So you want to always answer that using the STAR method, which is STAR, right? Which stands for situational, task, action, and result. A lot of people miss the result. It's a story-based line, right? So an example of a STAR method is, I'll give you, it's very simple. I'm just thinking out loud right now as I'm speaking to this video. I know I should have prepped, but I didn't do it. I should do it next time, but here it goes. Hey, tell me about a time when you had a difficult situation. How did you handle it? Well, I was standing in the middle of the camera and I noticed that I'm taking a lot of space because both sides are equal and I can't really capitalize on the capacity. So that's the task. I was standing in the middle. The situation was I was in the middle and I'm like not having capacity within, right? From both sides is limited because I'm standing right in the middle. So that was the situation. So the action, which I would say, is I took it upon myself and I stepped to the right, creating enough space to locate and put the desk or the chair. And as a result, that helped fit the desk. Simple, but you understand the concept. So make sure your stories are aligning to that. Again, STAR: situation, task, action, result. A great resource to look that up is in glassdoor.com. I've used that website a lot of times. Make sure to go to company you're interviewing and go under the interview section where the questions are to your position. You can literally filter that out and it's for free. And no, it is not sponsored at all, trust me. However, if you want to help me out, hit that like button so we can spread this knowledge with everybody else, because it does help with the YouTube algorithm. Now, the third step that I would highly recommend you to do, well, take a hot shower because you can relax. Hot showers does make you relax, but make sure if you need to shave. If you need to carry your beard, take care of your beard. If you need to carry your hair, take care of your hair. The reason behind that I'm telling you is because there's research have shown that if you are taking care of yourself, you feel a lot more confident, you'll feel a lot more less nervous, and your appearance is more appealing, which gives you that kind of comfort level. Not only that, make sure, I don't care what type of job you're going to, wear a suit and a tie, okay? When you're wearing a suit, you feel a lot more confident because you look professional, you feel professional, and that boosts your confidence level. Not only that, but you look a lot more professional, and then the person that's interviewing you is gonna remember you more likely than somebody who's wearing just a shirt or a polo shirt like I'm wearing right now. Trust me, it makes a big difference. And now the last thing I would tell you that you need to work on and that put into consideration as well. If you are having this kind of momentum of breakdown or nerve wrack or nervousness, which we've all been there and done that, make sure to take the time before you go to the interview to relieve that kind of stress. Now, there's different things that you could do. For me, what works the best is I always lock my hands like this and I just squeeze them so tight before I even go in public speaking, presenting in front of a lot of people, or before I go in an interview, just because it helps me calm me down. Now, a lot of people, there has been studies to show that winning position, like athletes do, like this, raising your hand for like 30 seconds, actually help boost your confidence. And I'm not lying to you, there's science behind it. There's a reason why a blind athlete always uses the same body language when they're winning as a normal athlete, just because we're winning, because you feel that confidence. So you want to use these body languages, raising up the hands high, or maybe squeezing out, just because you want to release that stress. And you're going to feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more nerve wracked. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and it helped you out a little bit. If you do like it, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to share the video with your friends and family, just because we want to spread that knowledge. So take care.